Pico, specifically the Neo Pico 3 Link, is moving out of a China-only production and entering the European market, and that is a big deal. I also have sources who slate a North American launch is also in the works, but I need you to understand why this is all important, because recommending headsets a lot of times comes down to a spec sheet. Two almost identical products, spec comparing, and then someone makes a buying decision. But past the hype and hyperbole, this video will explain why I do or maybe do not recommend this headset for you, and it may actually surprise you why. But this all starts by taking a look at the company behind Pico. And if you didn't notice or didn't know, mid last year, I believe around August, ByteDance purchased Pico. If ByteDance sounds familiar to you, that's probably likely because ByteDance also owns TikTok. TikTok, arguably the biggest social media platform out there right now. Last year, it actually did pass Google in use cases. So TikTok's just a giant, and that is all now one parent company. TikTok, Pico, all under ByteDance. That's insane. Additionally, Gore-Tex is a company that you should be familiar with. They help in the manufacturing of lenses, cameras, etc., etc. They are a huge supply chain leader, and they are also under ByteDance's arm. So between the marketing and the influence of TikTok, between the production capabilities and supply chains of Gore-Tex, and just the money and advertising data of, analytical data of the users of ByteDance, because let's be honest, they're a very similar company to Meta, they are prone and posed to be a monster VR entity for years to come. In fact, Pico was actually out before the Oculus Go. That is not a traditionally known fact, but that is true. But let's also dive into the specs of the Pico Neo 3 Link. And from here, you're going to be seeing a lot of similarities, a lot of them, but let's get into the specs of the Pico Neo 3 Link. It is a fully standalone VR headset with 4 camera inside-out tracking that uses a Qualcomm Snapdragon XR2 processor, both the same as the Oculus Quest 2, so it's basically identical in that standpoint. It has 256 gigabytes of storage and 6 gigabytes of RAM, and again, that is, exactly the same as the Quest 2. Going even further into this comparison, you get the drift here, but I'm going to go one more example, the rule of threes. Pico Neo 3 has a display resolution of 3664 by 1920 overall, with a refresh rate of up to 90 Hz, which again, compares to the Quest 2 heavily. The controllers are similar, the strap is similar. In fact, the dropping this whole facade, the Oculus Quest 2, the Meta Quest 2, and the Pico Neo 3 are produced, some of them, in the same exact factory. For better or for worse, it's borderline the same headset. Now, Pico also has a couple other things out there right now. They do have Steam VR compatibility. There are some titles out there right now that are going to be launching with the Pico Neo 3 Link full support, and this title is growing. I am talking with some developers who are also working on that. The controllers are similar. Really, this headset overall is very, very similar. It's basically a Quest 2. Additionally, though, they are saying that this is a limited time beta run. There are not that many Pico Neo 3s that are going to be sold. They're using this as a data point. Additionally, if you buy one of these, they are going to have an incentive program for you to trade those in when they launch their next headset, which is TBD, but them hinting at it already signals that maybe something is coming in 2023. That would be nice. Personally, and I'd like your opinion on this, anytime I see a headset launching right now in 2022 with an XR2 Snapdragon processor, I get it, but at the same time, that is sort of getting dated at this point as well, and I'd like to see something stronger come along standalone, but that's just my thought. But this kind of just goes back to my initial comments about spec sheets. Like when we buy products and we just go, is this the Quest killer? And we put specs by specs, capabilities by capabilities, and then all the outliers and extra incentives they have and hinting at things down the line, you can make a buying decision like that. That's entirely logical, but I think this is really where the consideration of is a Pico Neo 3, whether you find this in Europe, it comes to a Western market, or you go to a Pico product down the line, I think it just comes down to what you prioritize. If you are a VR pioneer, an early adopter who just wants to experiment with an alternative product, see how it works, deal with its operating system, which is something that Pico's probably going to have to work heavily on, how they're going to work on their standalone market, what games are on there, are they going to have exclusive titles, are big developers going to work with them? If you're willing to just experiment and be that early adopter who wants all that and wants to try it and is excited. Like, cool, yeah, go get the headset if you can. Like, get it. That's how I got into VR, and I will never burst anyone's bubble to go try that as well. However, if you are mostly not a fan of the Meta Quest 2 because of the meta part of that, I'm not really sure why the excitement for Pico is there. In reality, if I'm playing like a pickup game, like if this is a pickup game of football and I've got to pick my team, and ByteDance and Meta are options, like I'm gonna pick ByteDance, and it's not because I'm like, if you are comparing them, they're basically the same entity, but ByteDance is the stronger version of it with less regulation. I'm just gonna throw that out there. I'm not really sure if you hate Meta, why you would go the Pico route, being owned by ByteDance. It confuses me. But in reality, and I'll make one final like anime analogy. I feel like I have to make an anime analogy now in every video because I fucking love doing it. Like, headsets are all about trade-offs. There is no headset on the market right now that doesn't really just have some sort of trade-off, whether spec, parent company, or some other outlier. Like, it's Full Metal Alchemist equivalent exchange. If you want this, you might have to deal with this. So if you want the perfect standalone headset with a company that's super altruistic, get ready to give up an arm and a leg. Literally equivalent exchange. Like, that's just what it is. But that's what we know so far. I'd be very interested to hear your thoughts. Is this a Quest killer to you, or do you see the conundrum of it is exactly the same? It's just a different company. And what are your thoughts on these different companies? Let me know down in the comments. That's it for today's video. See you next time, Space Cowboys. Peace.